Do you find yourself getting distracted a lot during the day? I mean, I know I do. There's constant dings on the phone. The dog barks. There's a squirrel that runs outside the window. Maybe somebody comes in and has a package or something. Wherever you are, I'm sure that whether you work from home, you work from an office, you're retired, you have your own business, wherever you are, I'm sure that you get distracted at least some point or other, right? Well, I'm going to give you three quick things that you can do to help get back on track once you've been got off the track by something that's distracted you. Again, whether that's a sound, a person, a new video game, or a new Instagram notification, right? We all want to check those out as soon as we get them. Oh, I just got distracted right now. See, just proving the point. So I'm going to give you those three tips right now how you can get back on track after those distractions. So the first thing I want to talk about is a distraction journal. I know that we talk about journaling quite a bit in coaching in general and other things. We talk about gratitude journals, we talk about daily journals, we talk about planning journals. Well, I'm talking specifically about a distraction journal. And how this works is that as soon as you get distracted, you're going to want to, briefly write down the distraction to acknowledge it and to release it. Because a lot of times when we have a distraction, our brain tends to want to follow it until we've done something about it. This is a very normal process. There's nothing wrong with it. This act of journaling will just help you to really get it out and then release because you're almost checking off the distraction off your to-do list almost. It's almost like that distraction came in, became an item on your to-do list, and now by writing it out and scratching it off, you are completing that distraction, if that makes sense. And, you can do this by writing down. You can do it on your computer. You can do it on your phone. You can do it vocally. It doesn't really matter as long as you are, acknowledging that distraction and then letting it move on. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is focus anchors, and I really love focus anchors. I use focus anchors myself specifically, and these can be anything. This can be a picture of a family. It can be a string. It can be a bracelet. It can be an item on your desk. It can be music. It can be a setup. It can be lighting. Anything that's going to be a visual cue to you completing that task. Because again, we do get distracted. So, this is why they say that you really shouldn't work from your laptop on your bed because you're sitting on your bed. Your bed is for sleeping. Therefore, your body is used to being in a state of trying to relax if you're going to sleep. And you're trying to force it to do something that it's not accustomed to in an area. So you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to turn your bedroom into a second office, wherein you'll get work done, but you'll never sleep, or you're just going to turn your bedroom into a place of disappointment because you always fall asleep when you're trying to do work. So just no, just so, and these focus anchors, again, are going to depend a lot on you. So for me, when I'm working, as an example, I like to have some peaceful music on behind or some focus music on behind. That lets my brain know that we are on track and we are only working on a specific task at hand. So, when you're, vacuuming or doing laundry or something, you might put in 9 to 5 Working Girl or whatever by Dolly Parton, right? Working 9 to 5. Yes, I like that song. It's just, and it's something I use, but you can use anything, any music or anything that gets you in the mood to do that task. Another thing that I really like to do with the setup and lighting in specific is I like to have bright light when I'm going to be working, and I like to dim the lights when I'm supposed to be relaxing. So if we have those visual cues and we train ourselves with those visual cues and those we'll be able to actually get into a state of mind where we're ready and willing to actually do the work or the task at hand, which is why many therapist offices or coaching offices are warm and inviting because you're meant to sit there, relax, and talk things out. Same thing for the kitchen. You want to have a clean kitchen. You want to make sure that everything's organized and that visual cue, that focus of being in the kitchen and seeing everything there will let you stay aligned to that task and help re-anchor your attention. Now, it doesn't always have to be something like that. Me, myself, I always find myself getting distracted as I'm counting repetitions while I'm lifting weights. It's very repetitive and boring, and my mind goes other places sometimes. But no matter what I have done is I've trained myself that every time I see this little plug in the wall outlet, I'm supposed to be focused and doing my exercise. Now, I could have picked something else. I could have picked like a dumbbell. I could have picked, I could have picked a vision board of, whatever I want to achieve with my exercise, right? Just a visual cue to remind me that while I'm doing that, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And the more of those that we can have, the less likely we are to be really getting distracted, and we'll be able to pull ourselves back really quick. Or just short videos, especially with ADHD, focus anchors are paramount. There are actually apps and setups where we have set up different videos, wherein you put on a timer and this video plays after the timer, right? So if you get distracted, the video comes up and says, "Hey, how's it going? Maybe you should be working on this right now if you're not already." And different things like that. So I really love focus anchors. I love how it brings you back. They can be physical, they can be auditory, they can be visual. I love focus anchors because they're often um, missed in the routines for creating habits and getting out of distraction. And I just really like them. The last thing I want to talk about for you is a reset routine. And again, this is going to be good for everybody, but this is going to be especially important if you have some form of ADHD as well. And the reset routine is really just designed to pull you back into the moment, pull you back into the body, into the moment, into what you're actually doing. And this can be physical or it can be mental. There are some people that, when they're talking, they may take their hand. And this is a technique sometimes to ground those with ADHD, they're more tactile, back into the moment of the conversation they're having. You might see somebody do something like they'll close their eyes and then they'll just tap their five fingers together, and this is their way of doing it. Or there's also the moving the finger back and forth, feeling the fingertips and the ridge. There's a focus of squats. Like if I lose my train of thought, you might even couple both in there by not being distracted and getting in some exercise snacks. Just pop a squat because you have to focus on what you're doing when you're squatting and stuff. Or stand on one leg for 30 seconds. Anything that is going to bring your focus back to now is going to help you reset and get back into where you were supposed to be before. That, again, with focus anchors or other visual cues you might have, will really help you to get out of that distracted mode and back into what you were supposed to be doing at the moment at hand. Well, that's it for today, and how to regain focus. But I do love this topic. If you liked it, give it a like. Write in the comments down below which of these resonated the most with you, or maybe which of these you'd like to hear more about. Um, and so I'll be making some more videos like this on other topics. So I will see you again next time.